Hi everyone, and welcome to Loveworks. I am Stella, and we're going to do an all signs tarot reading for you. In this reading, we're going to do something very interesting. We are going to look at freeing and liberating messages of optimism for you. So there's something in here for everyone. Maybe check different placements, moon, rising, Venus, Mars, etc. And we're going to go ahead and get right into it. If you would like a personal reading with me, my link is in the description box underneath the More tab of this video. So what do we have for Aries? We are looking for freeing and liberating optimistic messages for Aries, please. Okay, well, there's one right there, and let's go with that one as well. Okay. Okay, I like this message at the bottom. We have, if you do not like what the stars have in store for you, then seek beyond the stars. So, and I had in mind like astrology charts with this reading. So like if you don't like a certain placement in your astrology chart, don't ever, ever, ever let that like hang you up on something. I think that's kind of what they meant. Whatever it, like in the Bible where it says something about like, I think that's one of those things as usual that's like, it can be interpreted in many ways. I forget what it is in the Bible. They say something about like, don't let the stars, and then people think that means like fortune telling and all that. And I think it's just saying like, don't depend on that stuff for, you can always change who you are. But let's see what we have. We have self-worth. The value of this is key to your career, your self-worth, your value. Okay. And then we also have strong potential for a plan to move forward. So there's some sort of plan that possibly you have kept within or that's hidden. Maybe it's a little buried in the root chakra, something like that, that has strong potential to be able to move forward. But self-worth is key. And it says career on here, but in all areas of life, self-worth, how we value ourselves, right, is extremely key. Okay, so let's get the tarot and let's see a little bit more on what we can get for you as far as a freeing and liberating message of optimism for Aries. Okay, so what do we have? So first we need to kind of see like what it is that's been going on as far as, so we can look at how the messages are wanting to come out as far as freeing and liberating oneself from those energies. Okay, so what's been going on, what is going on, and what can Aries expect? Oh, beautiful. Okay, wow. Okay, interesting. Holding on to something. Some of you holding on to a collective like situation that it doesn't really work for you anymore. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and wow. I mean, talk about self-worth and value being of help in your career. Okay, very, very clear there. Okay, so let's see. Can you hear the train? I love the sound of trains. Okay. No, it's not doing it, of course. Anyway, all right. So we have Sagittarius, Taurus energy in here, some Scorpio energy in here, and yeah, that's about it. Okay, maybe Pisces also. But like Pisces seems to be more the direction to head, like more Piscean energy. So you have Temperance, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Hierophant in the recent past. There we go. And so in order to like have a freeing, liberating message, let me take a look here and see what's going on. Because there's something about giving and receiving here very clearly showing up. Like this is where the judgment happens. There it is. This is where like that divine timing really needs to come into play. The train says so. My log has a message for you. Any Twin Peaks fans? Okay, anyway. All right. So it's like, obviously there is something here about the giving and receiving in like a very sincere type of way. All right, let's see. Give me a moment here. Let me take a look here. Yeah, I feel like you guys have possibly been working within the wrong, like, community is what I see here. Or the wrong, not necessarily wrong. Wrong is not, like, the best word to use, but for sake of ease. Just something that's not really, like, I feel like you have given a lot to try to like work with someone else or work with others. Maybe it's your current job. Maybe it's just very difficult. You know, I mean, it's difficult some, you know, many times to work with other different personalities and things like that. And I feel like I'm getting like an unappreciated like vibe here. Like there's something else, like you're holding on to that situation, but it's disappointing when there's something else for you that would be so more fulfilling and like more like your people, you know, like where you feel like things fit in. So something about trying to hold on to a past situation or trying to make a square peg fit into the circle, you know, just is not working for you. There's something else here to give toward that you have like sincerely, like you have sincere effort towards. So let's see if we can get a little bit more on that. Okay. What does Aries like really need to know to free themselves towards more optimism and liberate themselves from a situation that has held them back? Yeah, move away, right? Yeah, Six of Swords, right? Make a decision, stop worrying, think things over, and demonstrate your inner strength. Walk away and start something new. All right, I cannot stress this enough. This is exactly what this is saying. These cards came out again. All right, I showed them to you earlier at the bottom of the deck when I asked for advice about what you need to let go of in order to have this liberation and that sort of thing. The very first card that came out is the Six of Swords, which is absolutely a card that means that. It means like leaving behind struggles, things that have like just, you know, been like little pokers, you know, sharp little pokers in your mind and causing all kinds of havoc, right? It's like leaving those things behind, making a decision. Two of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, Four of Swords into the Strength card. Like making a decision to demonstrate your true self, your true talent, all right? Walk away from whatever hasn't worked, all right, or is not working. And that's a fine line, I get it, because, you know, sometimes it's a lesson to stick with something, and sometimes it's a lesson to not stick with something, like recognize when something just, you know, will not, you know, work for you. And it's like, this is clearly saying to walk away from all of that is not working for you and have the self-confidence. Some of you possibly really are gifted and talented at something where you could be more entrepreneurial and you can find like the people like that will appreciate your work. So it's something about possibly for some of you, remember it's a general reading, all right, it's not saying, oh my God, go quit your job, Aries, and you know, go follow that dream of, you know, becoming an acrobat or whatever. Okay. It can be though. All right, but just keep in mind this is a general reading, so really, you know, the best thing to do is to liberate oneself is to talk to oneself, to know oneself, right? And not depend on the answers being out here or in here. You know what I'm saying? Like in this reading, yeah, the answers are within. But this is clearly pointing to, for some of you who this is hitting with, something that you are very good at and that you can pursue in a more entrepreneurial aspect. Okay? All right, so that's what I have for Aries. Let's go to Taurus. Oh, I forgot to mention Aries too. Nine of Cups at the bottom of the deck. I mean, that's like wish. Oh my gosh, and the Fool card. All right, freeing yourself and like moving toward, you know, your wish, your true wishes. All right. And if you don't know what those are, if you're undecided about what those are, then it's an excellent time then to, again, go within and ask. You know, ask your highest self, ask your soul self to reveal. And don't just ask once and then, oh, well, you know, it's like keep asking, keep diligently asking. Okay, Taurus, let's take a look and see what types of messages we can get for you that are freeing and liberating toward optimism for Taurus energies, please. What is the message for Taurus energies? Oh, and some of my cards are turned around. Let me get those go in there. Okay. Taurus, please. Okay. So we have learning who you are is the best gift ever. So stop trying to find out and just be you. So what I had in mind with this card is so many people are always trying to like find out who they are based on other things outwardly. So a good example of this would have been like quite a few years ago when Facebook was, you know, kind of at its peak and very popular. And do you guys remember like all those quizzes, you know, like which whatever are you, you know, or like, you know, which, I remember taking one. I did do one. It was something about like, which poet are you from history or something like that, right? Of course, I got the nutty one. I got Sylvia Plath, but anyway, but those things are designed. A, they were like phishing scams, but B, they're also designed to confirm, you know, that like we don't know who we are and like some outer source can possibly tell us who we are. So that's what I had in mind with this. It's like stop trying to like find out who you are based on like all these other things, or like pick cards or you know, quizzes and things like that, and just start being who you are, right? Like that sort of deal. Okay, so there's freeing and liberating information right there, but let's see what else we got. This is weird. What do I have here? Oh, I don't even remember making this card. I surprise myself sometimes. Okay. It says, say the alphabet slowly and note which letters feel good. Look up their meaning and chant them free form. Okay, so I know why I wrote this. I really don't remember writing this card. That's funny. But I remember doing this like spontaneously one day, and I was sitting in my little camper, in Florida, and I did this. I was like, wonder what letters, you know, because I was really very interested in tones at that time. So I was like, okay, let's see, A, ah, you know, and B, B, you know, and I went through like all the letters until like one kind of like just felt different than the other. And so that particular letter, once I got to it, I just started like saying it in different ways. And I swear I had like the weirdest experience with that. It was very cool. So because it's like letters, you know, are a part of our journey. They are a part of, you know, like spelling, right? Making words. And it's like certain things may resonate with you more. And you actually can, like, I would say if you look up the letters meaning, like look it up as far as like the Chaldean alphabet stuff, numerology, or like or type in, if you're typing it into Google, what, like, let's say it's the letter A or something, you know, what does the letter A stand for? Esoteric, you know, or, you know, add like metaphysical or something like that, so that you get like some interesting answers. You also have demand and supply, not supply and demand. That's funny. I talked about this in the recent video too. They are the same, but sometimes we need to shake up our brains, is what I wrote on the side. So a lot of times, like, that's the way we hear that phrase often is supply and demand, especially in business terms and things like that. Oh, you know, well, it's the supply and demand. But I noticed, like, when I was reading all these old school books, I'm talking like, you know, Ernest Holmes, Joseph Murphy, you know, like back in the day type of books, that they didn't use that phrase. They used the phrase demand and supply. And I don't think they were trying to be like fun, play on words kind of stuff like we do kind of now in the spiritual community, because I don't think that was popular back then. I think they really used to say it like this, demand and supply. And somehow that got tweaked. And now we're all comfortable with saying supply and demand. So demand like what you need, what you are looking for, right? And the supply, you know, comes. So we have to like, ask and ye shall receive, right? So like demand and be supplied. Okay, so let's see what we have for you, Taurus. Taurus, all right. Freeing, liberating messages of optimism for Taurus, please. If you guys are liking this video, please thumbs up. Drop me a comment. Let me know. All right. If anything particularly hits home, let me know. Hits home. Oh. All right. Taurus, please. Whoops. All right. Okay, and then the Wheel of Fortune hits. Okay, so this one's pretty clear. All right, and the Fool card is at the bottom of the deck as well. So you have these like very freeing, optimistic energies that are like flanking your reading, but what's coming out like isn't there yet, right? So this is where we want to be. This is definitely freeing and liberating, and this is absolutely like support and on your side. Good luck, things changing, you know, changing cycles, stuff like that. So it's like in the recent past, it does look like with the World card, the Three of Wands, and the Chariot, that there's a few different things that could have transpired here. So for some of you, I mean, the World card is typically like the end of a cycle of some sort of completion, maybe something that you've learned about yourself or something that you've freed yourself from. This does appear like you are seeing things optimistically. Either that, or some of you have just decided like to start like manifesting maybe a car or travel or something like more adventurous in your life. Okay. In the current energy with the Eight of Cups, the Temperance card, and 10 of Swords, I feel like you guys are exhausted from that. All right. It's like, well, okay, maybe, you know, maybe you changed goals or something like that. Maybe that's not what I want to manifest. You know, maybe I want to just manifest, you know, emotional balance, emotional serenity, something like that. I feel like you guys are exhausted of sort of going back and forth with exactly what you want. That's what I'm getting because of these cards that are showing up here with the Moon, the Seven of Cups, and then the Four of Cups. Because the Moon and Seven of Cups show a lot of indecision, a lot of sort of heavy subconscious energy that is definitely connected, you know, to the divine, but doesn't know where to go. All right, doesn't know what to do with itself. So it's like the Four of Cups is an interesting card. I always like this card. It's definitely a card of like this Ace of Cups being handed out of the sky from the hand of God, right? Like, here you go. But it's like, but the person themselves isn't noticing it. They're too focused on all these other cups, all right? The ones that are on the ground, the ones that they can physically see. And they don't look very happy, do they? They're sort of like, you know, like this. So it's about like really being in that physical world and not recognizing like what is coming through like intuition or like the more spiritual world. Because I feel like the spiritual world is, or, you know, divine intelligence, God, whatever you want to call it, right, is like saying, hey, psst, psst, Taurus over here, you know. And it's like, but we're too possibly straddled in the earthly energies. So obviously very spiritual, Taurus. You're very but it's, again, it's like possibly not believing that or not knowing what to do with that. So let's see what we can get as far as advice, because I do feel like you guys are ready to make a decision of, like, I feel it's difficult for you to make a decision on exactly what you want to do. So some of you really walk a fine balance between the physical world and the spiritual world. But unfortunately, like right now, it's like the physical world is winning out. And nothing wrong with the physical world, obviously, but it really is kind of that fine-tuned balance. So I feel like yours is maybe believing. Like, I don't think you have a problem believing in spirituality or believing in source or something like that. But when it comes to you, like receiving things, I think that's where the situation is troublesome. So like, I don't think you have any problem believing, you know, or having faith in God or something, a higher power or a divine intelligence. But when it comes to, it's the classic example of like having faith in God, but not having faith in self. All right. So, but the thing is, needing to understand that those are the same. You know, those, if you have faith in God, then you do have faith in yourself, because God or infinite spirit, whatever you want to call it, you know, just for ease, right, has created you. So, of course, you know, you have that ability too. So what then is the best advice for Taurus moving forward? Okay. All right. Making a decision. Not getting annoyed. Yeah, I feel like you guys just go back and forth with decisions. Okay. That's star card. All right, beautiful. And 9 of Cups showing at the bottom of the deck. Aries had something very similar to this as well, this type of energy. So, shoot, I thought I had the deck that was colored over their little outfits. But anyway, so we have the Star card as your overall healing right next to the Justice card, right? So both of these cards, I got to hold them that way, you know, are definitely about balancing some sort of karmic cycle, healing from that, and then like your hopes and your wishes can come into being, right? And it's like, but holding on to, like, yours is a little similar to Aries, but a little different in the fact, like, Aries needed more like self-propelled confidence. Yours, I feel like you have self-confidence, but it's like more of like, okay, I have self-confidence, but what do I do with it? Okay. So I still don't know if I'm getting like help for you in that respect. I would say you're freeing and liberating, because it's a general reading. So I can't say, oh, this is exactly the career you need to move to, or this is exactly the love partner you need to find. You know, I can't do that because it's a general reading. But for the most part, I feel like there's something about tuning into the divine more and understanding that those messages are for you. All right. And not feeling like it's for everybody else, but not for you. Okay. And also to follow this energy more of demand, because it's like, I do feel like you have this confidence of moving forward. It's more of blocking yourself from making decisions of like how to move forward. So again, that's going to be different for every single person out there. For some of you, it could mean having a very emotionally balanced, meaningful relationship, soulmate situation. Others of you, it could have something to do with travel, like major travel, you know, something like that. Others of you, it could have something to do with like spirit, you know, being some sort of spiritual guidance of some sort in a career factor. Others of you, you know, it's a lot of different things here. Just deciding basically is what needs to happen. I'm going to pull a little bit extra for you here. All right. Is there any, for those that are more spiritually inclined, travel. All right. Travel came, and leadership. Yeah. Travel and leadership here. Travel came up. Okay. And it's funny because it's like, these cards are usually like really spiritual type things. You know, there's like, I don't know, Reiki, yeah, energy healing, healer, body work, practice, speaker, books, environmentalist. You know, there's all kinds of like different types of positions in here, but most of them are more geared towards spiritual things. But look what you guys got, travel. So there is something about you, I feel, that truly does. Some of you, maybe you just want to drive around, you know, your area and go travel different things. Others of you, you know, with the 3 of Wands might have way bigger, you know, views. You want to go to other countries or something like that. You have your life purpose involves traveling right here. Okay, so there's something about that, I feel, that is needing to be embraced. If you're afraid of travel, then again, it's needing to have that self-confidence. People travel all the time. And I get it, especially right now. It's probably a little bit like, oh, right, I don't want to travel. And I understand, I definitely understand that. But it's like, you know, knowing that you have this beautiful divine guided angel here that wants to like help you, you know, achieve some sort of goal in that direction. Okay, so that is Taurus. Let's go to Gemini. Okay, Gemini, let's take a look and see what we can get for you. We are looking for freeing and liberating, optimistic messages for you. Okay, Gemini, please. Okay, what do we have? Hold on. Okay, sorry. Thought I was going to sneeze. Okay, we have intentional partnership. Beautiful, like balance, harmony, like that should be like a main goal, to have like a good intentional partnership. All right, not just a relationship, you know, or something like that. Relationships are karma, basically. That's the way I look at things. You know, it's like relationships are karma. Partnerships, That's intentional, right? Okay, we have okay, so we have like a quote or a mantra to incorporate here. It says, "My faith sustains me, wisdom leads me, and love surrounds me." So this would be an excellent like mantra or something along those lines to repeat to yourself often. I'll hold it up here. I'll hold it like this so you can kind of trim around my fingers, and you can Photoshop it, or whatever, crop it so that you can remember that on your phone or something and use that. Okay? All right, so my faith sustains me, wisdom leads me, and love surrounds me. Beautiful. That is a great mantra for you. Okay, so let's see. Oh, some of you have a Capricorn coming in or changes around Capricorn season. Okay, so let's see. So what is the most optimistic and liberating message that Geminis need to hear at this time? Geminis, please. Freeing messages that can help them liberate themselves towards more optimism. Interesting. Okay. First off, I would say drop any like angers or resentments or things like that towards others, especially like mother type figures or something like that, I would say. Okay, but let's see. Let me get a little bit more here, because that just stands out to me right there in front and center. Plus, it's showing up in the present energy. So it's like being almost like resentful toward like this Empress energy that is like just wanting to kind of give, be honest and give truth, or something like that, being truthful. So I do feel like if you're now, this could be someone that's possibly being this way toward you. So in that case, all right, so there's two ways to look at this. If you're kind of resentful because someone, it feels like they're maybe being a little, high and mighty, or they're being, something like that. It's like, especially if it's a feminine, I don't think that's the case. I mean, of course, it's a general reading, so maybe, you do have some kind of weird case like that. But I feel like the Empress is genuine and nurturing, but also just gives like truth. Okay, so, and that's what's seen here. So we can't be angry at that, right? I mean, we can, but it's saying like not to be. Okay, so there's that. Or it could be the other way around, where you are, this Empress energy, and it's like, you're giving your best, your truth to a situation, but sometimes it doesn't matter. People are still going to be ticked off at that, or, have resentments towards you for that, or something along those lines. And it's something my dad used to say. I can't remember what it is, but it's something like, you can please some of the people some of the time, but you can't please them all, or something along those lines was the thing he used to say. And it's like, that's kind of what I'm getting here too. So it could be either or going on. Yeah, because there's like this holding on to something. Some of you may really see like some kind of like visionary future for yourself, but you hold back. Because like there's like this resentment or something like attached to it. So it is a general reading. I can't pinpoint exactly, what that is for everyone here, but there's something tied into like this future that you imagine and that you desire, this sort of independence. And you were probably really drawn to the title of this reading, because I feel like there is this like standing on own 2 feet and this independence that does see this like visionary future for yourself. But yet there's like this fear of like, well, that's maybe not for me, or I don't know if I can do that, or I don't know if I have enough money to do that, or that's not the wise thing to do. I should save my money. Like all these things talking you out of something is what it looks like here. And then there's like, again, like this issue of like this sort of, again, like kind of resentment issue going on in the background. Okay. So you have the 7 of Pentacles, the Ace of Coins, and the 2 of Pentacles. All right. Yeah, I feel like for many of you, it's more about, okay, how do I take this pentacle that I have and turn it into the dreams that I want? because it's like I feel for many of you it does have a lot to do with safety, security, and money. And hey, no surprise, right? I mean, that's a huge theme throughout all our lives. And it's like, but it seems like I think this is a really good mantra for you, because there's something here about like letting the physical world just dictate everything to you, rather than using and enjoying the physical world for your experiences. So what I mean by that is like basically letting the outer world dictate to you like what your life is going to be, what this is it, this is the smart thing to do, this is what you should do. So there might be something where it's like possibly some of you might, and I'm not saying this in an insulting way or a right or wrong way, but some of you might give too much power to that others know best for you. And instead of like finding that beautiful, like, yeah, looking at things from a different perspective and finding that beautiful emotional balance and harmony within yourself, that only you know who you are. Only you, like, no one can tell you who you are. They can give you lots of labels. They can give you lots of, advice. They can give you lots of, I don't know, diagnosis or whatever. They can give you all kinds of things and labels and this and that, but no one can actually tell you who you are. How could they? Can you tell someone? I mean, we might know a lot about someone or have some ideas about them, but we will never, ever, ever know, like, really who that person is, no matter how close we are to them. How could we? We're not in their heads yet, right? That technology hasn't come yet, or that ability hasn't come yet. So it's like there's something here about not letting others define you. And it's like, yeah, you do have a little something to work with here, but don't automatically view it as, well, I should do the safe thing, or I should do, life is hard and it takes a lot of work, so I got to make this work and that and all these things. It's like, yeah, some of the time that's true, but I feel like there's a need to connect more with the divine here, and to, again, like build the faith, not only in divine or God or infinite intelligence or whatever but in yourself, okay, rather than letting that outer world dictate to you who you are. And that would be an intentional partnership with universe. All right. So, I mean, for most of you, I feel like this is saying like to focus on, like I said, relationships are karma. All right. That's what they're lessons. All right. And they can be short, they can be long, but it's like relationships typically are karma. Partnerships are something on a different level. Okay, so for some of you, this is like about romantic situations and things like that, and aiming for that more intentional partnership with someone. But it can also mean like your intentional partnership with like yourself, with the highest side of yourself. All right, not just the physical, stable, this is the smart thing to do, self, but also, that spiritual connection of divinity and divine faith and all of those things. Because there's more here than meets the eye. I feel like you guys are like this Empress energy of nurturing and beauty and like all these things, but it's like this, the physical world is like tying you down in some ways. So let some more of that like beauty and natural ability to connect with divine like shine through. Okay. All right, so that is Gemini. We're on to Cancers. Okay, Cancer, let's see what the message is for you. We are looking for freeing, liberating messages of optimism for you. All right, any placement, Cancers. What is the message, please, for Cancers? Okay, an improvement soon. Well, that's freeing and liberating. Okay. Okay. All right, let's see. What do we got? So we have an improvement soon came out. Yay. All right. We have stop worrying. It is the most useless, unforgiving type of energy and has not served anyone well. Start spending your time well, and you will learn not to worry. Yes, it is that simple. Because I wrote that because I could imagine people saying, well, it's not that simple. So I'm saying, yes, it is that simple. So again, stop worrying. It's the most like useless energy. Like it doesn't resolve anything. Worry doesn't like, it's one of those energies that is frivolous and like doesn't accomplish anything, right? So, and it hasn't served you well to worry. In fact, it's the opposite. It serves us horribly. It reeks with our nervous system, our everything, right? Physically, all that, mentally. So instead, start spending, and I put that in quotes because, think of your energy as currency, right? Where we're spending time. Okay, so start spending your time well, and you will learn not to worry. All right, that's that card. And then we have, are you really in love or are you in need? Okay. So sometimes we convince ourselves, oh my God, I'm so in love, and sometimes we just need something. All right. So it's like, knowing knowing the difference between the two. Okay. So are you really in love? And the reason I put in quotes is for it to stand out. Interesting. Because it's like again, that's one of those phrases that we kind of gloss over because we're so used to hearing it. Oh, I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love. But are we actually in? Are we in there? Are we in there with love? Okay. All right. What do we have going on here for Cancers, please? Cancers. Okay, so I want to stress again, because I just heard this, I can tell like somebody's still saying, oh yeah, right, if it were only that easy. And they're like kind of ticked off at what this says. But the thing is, sometimes the things that tick us off are the things that we do need to like kind of pay attention to. Because that's why I purposely added that. Like, I remember writing this card and I remember like hearing it in my head. Oh yeah, it's not that simple, or you don't even understand what I'm going, and again, I wrote, yes, it is that simple, because it is. Because again, worrying just adds to, think of the 8 of swords, the 9 of swords, the 10 of swords in tarot. It's like that's all about worry and how it compounds. Once we feel trapped and like we don't have that confidence, like the 8 of swords, then that's when it just starts compounding until it eventually ends at the exhausting 10 of swords, where we just can't do it anymore. We're done worrying. It's like we realize like, oh my God, that does solve nothing. And we spend so much time in the worry that we're not spending the time in the solutions, right? So, and it's like, and again, I'm not trying to make anybody's, make light of any, of course, there's plenty of reasons to be like in that energy and be worried about things and stressed out about things. And I know it can be annoying to hear that thing. Oh, it's that simple. But it's way simpler to try that type of stuff than it is to just keep sinking in the things that aren't working, right? So anyway, all right. But I know, I get it. It's difficult when there's like a lot of things piling up and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's see what's going on for Cancers. A freeing and optimistic, liberating message for them. So that is the message. All right, but whether it's accepted, that's more, what feels right for you. Okay. Yeah, 8 of Swords. Not surprised to see that. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, free yourself. So very clear. All right. Because there's the 8 of Swords. All right, and it's like, so like here's like the truth of something, but it's like if that's not the truth we want to hear, then it doesn't turn the wheel. All right. So it's like there's a truth in this. It's like there's something here, like this is like a truth, but it's like if we continue, like here's the sword to cut the binds. All right. Because it's like she's all tied up, right? Not in a good way. All right. And but that sword of truth, Ace of Swords, is right there to cut those binds and turn the wheel. All right. But we got to see that. All right, so there's this energy here of turning away from someone and looking for new choices. Okay, so there may be someone who is like controlling, or someone that you may deem like is your future. Or again, are we in love, like actually acting in love and being in the energy of love, or are we in the energy of need? Because there's something here about maybe thinking like, okay, this emperor is my future, they're visionary, they're going to be the ones that solve something for me, but the Queen of Wands is independent and thinks of her own actions and creativity, and is like, the queen doesn't have to have an emperor, right? It's like this queen, not this Queen of Wands. She has a lot of talent, skill, creativity, and motivation and action. All right, is what's needed here. So I feel like there's like this sort of turning away from feeling like, well, if I had my soulmate, or if I had this person in my life, something like that, that you're realizing that like that's not the answer, right? The answer is your movement forward, your stellar creativity and things like that. So because the way I'm looking at it, like she on the board here, like she's turned away from this stuff, so that could be attached to some of those things that feel trapped, but that sort of truth is here to change and turn the wheel and show that, I mean, we're trapped mentally. So like I would say, if there's like a lot of things going on in your life, or a lot of things, then like douse yourself in all of those old school books about that like drill into us that everything is made up from mind. And I know that can seem like, we can agree with that, but we need to like really diligently know it and be it. We can agree with it, and yeah, everything is made up of mind. I mean, every single thing, this Bic lighter, this microphone, these cards, they all had to come from mind first. Every single thing. The cars, the homes that we stay in, the tarot cards that we're using, all these things come from mind first. Every single thing. The shirt I'm wearing, the necklace I have, everything that I can see around in my room, that you can see in your room, came from thought. And it's like we can all agree with that, spiritually and or collectively, and yeah, I know. But like we need to like really, really know that. That means everything comes from thought. So when we're in miserable circumstances, when we're in, we can easily say, well, yeah, but this person did this and this person did that, and well, if they would have or I was born into this, and all these things, we can say all these things. And yes, I'm not disheartening those. Those things are heavy, and I don't know, I don't know why some people are born into certain circumstances of like abuse or this or that or the other. I have no ideas on those I have ideas on those things, but it's like I don't just quickly write it off to, oh, well, it's their karma, and that doesn't do it for me, right? But it's like, but a lot of our personal adult life, let's just say that, like where we actually claim our independence in some way, so away from family situations, then from that point forward is what I'm talking about. It's like our mind is what is going to be creating all of these things. So if we come from sucky circumstances, we come from abandoning situations, or lack of love situations, or lack of resources situations, or lack of intelligence situations, then it's up to us to recognize that as an independent human being, because there's no one else like you. It's up to us as an independent human being to, and I know it's hard. I'm living here too. I know it's hard. I'm not saying it's simple, but it's like, I do know that this kind of energy, feeling like others trap us, or feeling trapped, or, things like that, it doesn't do us any good. All right, because it's like our own mind is what needs to create new change and new circumstances. And so that's the metaphysical choice, because we have the Lover's card here, which to me is always about like our metaphysical choices and discernment, to like move away from this energy and be free of it. All right. So literally, sometimes it could mean like move. Like, the Six of Swords could literally, and the Fool card could mean like move. Right? Maybe you need to move. Maybe you need to travel. Maybe you need to go somewhere else. All right, in a literal sense. But it's also very like cosmic, these cards, or metaphorical in some way, of like needing to move away from this type of energy of thinking someone else has leadership over you, or thinking someone else can change, like help or destroy your circumstances. It's like, yeah, certain people can do those things, but again, it's our thoughts that ultimately will lead us to those situations or away from those situations. So there's something about freeing yourself from these metaphysical choices and just going in a completely new direction. All right, with the Fool card here. So that's what I am seeing. All right. So and there is an improvement soon. Okay. So that is Cancer. We are on to Leo. Okay, Leo, let's see what the message is for you. We are looking for those liberating messages for you. All right. Liberating messages of optimism for Leo. Okay. Communicate is at the bottom of the deck, but only when your words can enrich, prosper, and heal. So that's from Florence Scovel Shinn, an author. Okay. So, well, it's not verbatim, but basically, she talks about that a lot in her books. Like, if you want to communicate something for someone, make sure that it's enriching, it's prospering the situation, right? And healing when the words come out of our mouth, right? Okay. All right. So let's see what else we have here. Wow. Yeah, I think this is, because this is interesting too. We have think before you text. Communicate, there's that word again. Okay, communicate your value. Oh my God, you have it twice. Communicate your value with words that encourage, enrich, and heal. So I changed the wording up a little bit, but it's the same thing. Like enrich, prosper, heal, right? Encourage, enrich, heal. So there's two cards like saying, bringing that up. Okay, and then we have an interesting message coming soon. And I put all those question marks like, okay. So like a coming attraction, right? Interesting message coming soon. So think before you text, all right? Make sure you are communicating your value and with words that enrich and prosper and heal. All right. So I have a feeling some of you then are going to either meet someone soon, maybe in a romantic sense, or it could be like something about like a new job or, something like that coming up for you. Okay. So that's why it's urging you to remember that stuff. So that might be something to like jot down or, take a snapshot of this card. All right. So if something comes up, within the next like 30 days or, this can be on your phone as a reminder. All right. And some of you, maybe you want to check out Florence Scovel Shinn books. All right. Definitely very, she's old school, like old school. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember the exact time period she was around. But, the information isn't. The information is always of value. Okay, so let's see what we have for Leo as far as we are looking for liberating messages of freeing messages of optimism for Leo, please. Yeah, your card coming out. Oh, whoa. Yeah, I think you guys are meeting somebody soon. Okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, somebody's been holding back, but I feel like they are going to want to communicate with you. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, okay, so in the recent past, you have the Strength card, the Fool card, and the Two of Cups showing up here. So I do feel like you guys are freeing yourselves from a lot right now. You have demonstrated inner strength in different ways, I would say. And it's like the Two of Cups is here. This may be something like that you guys are aiming for, or something that's like really not even registering with you right now. Like, whatever. If I meet somebody, great. But I don't get like a sense of obsession here. Like, oh my God, I gotta find my soulmate. I gotta find my soulmate. But there is like this sort of lingering energy. I feel like those of you who this is going to hit with, like you kind of instinctively just feel that this is coming, you know, anyway. And again, like I said, it might not be something that you're really focused on or like desiring even, you know, but it's just something that you're kind of sensing. All right. So it's like in this current energy, we do have like, I feel like there's someone here who really wants to like communicate with you or text you or something like that, but is sort of apprehensive, or they pull back, or they maybe they let self-esteem get in the way, or, oh, that's unrealistic or something like that. This person, though, I do feel will come through. It could be someone around your work. All right, with the Three of Pentacles here, it doesn't have to be like, you know, like a coworker or something like that. It could mean like it's someone like maybe you go into their work, and or they come into your work, or you meet them through other people at work. You know, it could be something along those lines. It doesn't have to be, but sometimes that's what that indicates. So, you know, I do feel like there's like an energy, like this masculine energy around you that is curious, but then they talk themselves out of communicating with you or moving forward with you. Well, I do feel like, yes, they do. I feel like it's slow. Whatever this is slow. So I said 30 days. I don't know. All right. I mean, maybe, you know, for some of you, maybe this is someone you've met now because they are showing up in the present energy. Others of you, this person, you know, I do feel like they are interested in you, but their heart chakra is closed off, or with the Four of Pentacles, or they feel like they're too attached to a comfort zone. They don't want to take a chance or put themselves out there or something like that. All right. But I do see like that they will eventually, all right, if they haven't already in your current energy. Now, if they are in your current energy and this is someone, or again, this might be a job, or, you know, could be something like that too. It doesn't have to be romance because we have the Two of Cups here. But if it's work, you know, or a romantic situation that is presently sort of around you, again, I would say to like really value yourself when you text with this situation or reply to this situation. All right, make sure that you are, again, like the card said, that the things that come out are very encouraging. So in other words, like if it's a job or something like that, oh, I don't know if I could do that. You know, I haven't, you know, ever done that before, or, you know, don't be like that. You know, just be more encouraging and prosperous and healing, and, you know, with your words and things like that. If it is a relationship, like it says, think before you text. So don't just send off 50 million texts and then go, oh God, why did I say that? Or one text, you know, and be like, why didn't I just say what I really wanted to say? You know, why did I say that silly, flirty little thing, or, you know, something like that. Like really communicate who you are at this time. All right. Don't kind of just leave it up to them to figure out, or that always cracks me up, especially, you know, like in relationships and stuff, like it's a common trait, I think, for us women a lot of times, and probably men too, but I think more so for women, like, well, you know, I wish they just knew me, you know, but then like you give them nothing to like know you about, you know, it's like everything's like, it's kind of like the common scenario, like, oh, baby, what's wrong? Nothing. You know, it's like, well, then how are they supposed to, you know, it's like, how can someone know you, you know, if they don't have a chance to know you? So there's something here about needing to express oneself in a very healthy way, and to communicate value when you do. All right. So I feel like that is like the freeing, liberating, the optimism is something interesting is about to enter your life, or has entered your life. All right. And it's like, it's a coming attraction. That's what I had in mind with that coming soon. It's supposed to be like a movie marquee, right? So that's what I see for you, Leo. Okay, let's go to Virgo. Shuffle up the cards a little more here. Oh, did I do that right, or did it all go backwards? Oh, that one's going the wrong way. Okay. Embrace non-judgment. Interesting. All right. Okay, what do we have for Virgo, please? Virgos. We are looking for freeing, liberating, optimistic messages for Virgos, please. Okay. All right. I kind of like this card at the bottom. I did it. I think I did a cute job drawing it. Okay. It says, "Don't be a storm cloud. Be the shelter from the rain." Look at the little angry storm cloud. All right. Be the shelter from the rain. Okay. All right. That's at the bottom of the deck. Let's see what we got for you. If you don't, oh man, this card has come out quite a few times. Okay, well, it's been lingering. It hasn't come out because I've put the discards aside. Okay, so it says, if you do not like what the stars have in store for you, then seek beyond the stars. So what I had in mind with this is not to get too hooked into your astrology chart, all right? Because it's like the astrology is very intriguing. Very intriguing, but it can also work in like it can work for you in a positive way, or it can work for you in a negative way. All right, just like anything in this world. And the way it can work for us in a negative way is if we see particular placements and think, oh well, that's the way it is. That's what I was born with, and we don't seek to go beyond that. We can't just let like some lines on a chart tell us who we are. All right. It kind of reminds me of, I forget what sign I was doing earlier, where, I think it was Gemini's reading, where it's like we can't, like just have others define us. I was equating it to, all those personality tests and things that people take. And it's like, that's like, expecting something, a bot basically, or like or a psychologist or something like that to tell us who we are. And like that just can't happen. I cannot tell you who you are, right? And no one can tell me who I am. The only person, close to being able to tell like me who I am is me, right? By going within and discovering who I am from my personal like lenses and that sort of thing, and by taking the time to know thyself, to know myself, right? Not to let everything else dictate, oh, this is who you are. Sure, there's a lot of interesting coincidences and a lot of synchronicities that can happen with certain things, but understand, like, most of us human beings do have a lot of synchronicities and things like that. So it's like a lot of those things are designed. I'm not saying they're false or they're phony, or, some are, some are just phishing scams and stuff like that. But it's like there is, a commonality in all of us, and that commonality can be like in different arenas. So some of those commonalities might be a little bit different than others. Some are like way more popular than others might be. But the factor is that it's like no one can like tell us, including an astrology chart, that this is who we are. The only way to find that out is to find out who you are from within. Ask yourself, know yourself, be yourself, right? Well, there we go. And then we have self-confidence means having faith. All right. So it's like, because self-confidence means having confidence in self. So these messages are all sort of going in the same direction here. All right. And we have to have faith in that sense of self. Okay. All right. So let's see. What do we have for Virgo? Oh, there you are, Virgo. All right. All right. Tell me about Virgo, please. What is the freeing, liberating, optimistic message for Virgos, please? Virgo. Okay. Some of you are like possibly like trapped in like a certain job, career, something like that that's like not really suiting you. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. In the recent past, we have the Chariot, the Tower, and the King of Pentacles. All right. So there could have been something like a relationship or something along those lines. It doesn't have to be romantic. This could absolutely have to do with work and career because we do have the King of Pentacles here. We have the Eight of Pentacles here. So absolutely a lot of the stuff, you know, if I'm talking about love in some capacity, then just switch out those words, you know, to, I trust that, you know, you guys can do that, right? About like your work situation or whatever situation this may be. But there does appear to be some sort of energy here in the recent past where there's been some sort of just like revelation about something. For some of you, it could be about travel. It could be about going somewhere, you know, the Chariot card. Others of you, it could be a Cancer or a Scorpio, something along those lines. But it's like, it's something in the recent past that just sort of was like surprising. Right. Or like came on suddenly, or it's like, oh, wow, you know, all of a sudden this happened, you know, kind of thing. So I don't feel it's negative necessarily. All right. It could be someone expressing desire to move also with those cards, because you do have some travel cards here for sure. You have the Temperance card, the Five of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. So, yeah, I feel like in the present energy, there's this fight between like what you want and what someone else wants is what I'm getting. And I feel like there's a difficult time for you to like that like navigating this, because it's like part of you wants this thing and then part of you doesn't want this thing. So again, I don't know if it's a relationship or if it's a job, career situation, or just a life situation in general, or moving, you know, it could be like, well, yeah, you know, this one wants to move, but I don't want to move, you know, something like that also, or travel, either or. So I do feel like there's something here about needing to find more like emotional balance and harmony in a situation. It's like, again, it's not to be in that energy of, oh, well, that's just my lot in life. You know, that would be the Five of Cups. So all that stuff we talked about earlier, right? You know, when we were talking about those things, it's like not to get in that energy of, oh, well, that's just the way, you know, things are going to be. You know, it's like, no, you know, it does not have to be that way. And it's like, I don't know. I do feel like there's this like guardian angel and wanting to bring luck and a positive new cycle to you. But it does require like seeing something differently, not looking at it as, again, like wanting something but like not wanting it at the same time. I feel is like sort of your tightrope right now. Okay, so you have the Death card going into the Eight of Pentacles and then the Eight of Swords, and I feel like this is something about like careers or like wanting to change direction in some way, but ultimately feeling unconfident in doing that. All right. Or feeling trapped. You know, that could be it too. Like maybe you started a business and now you feel trapped in said business or something along those lines. So I feel like you guys with the with the Queen of Wands here, there's something to explore more in a creative way. You have the Hierophant here also. So for some of you, this could even be like more like religion type geared things, right? With the Hierophant, doesn't have to be, you know, but it's like explore that side. Maybe that's something you haven't explored. It could be interesting, right? Maybe some of you want to, you know, creatively do something with like religious art or, you know, something like that. I'm getting, right? Because it's like art, creativity, you know, Queen of Wands. Okay, so if that's like, you know, makes no sense whatsoever, maybe some of you are like ready to leave behind being like an independent entrepreneur or something like that and move towards some sort of leadership position within a larger organization or structure or a larger industry. All right. So it's funny. Usually I see the other way around, where people are in these large industries and things like that, and they want to get out and they want to start their own thing. I feel like yours might be the opposite, where you might have like some sort of freedom as an entrepreneur, but not be enjoying it feeling trapped in it, and actually would thrive like with a larger situation. All right. So, and it doesn't have to be the corporate world necessarily, but it's like just a larger industry of some sort is what I'm seeing. So I would say developing the confidence for that. Again, if you feel like, well, you know, my astrology chart says I'm not cut out for that, or, you know, I'm not cut out for, you know, this, that, or the other. It's like, again, if that's, don't let something like that hinder you. If this is what you want, move toward what you want. Don't feel trapped that, oh, well, this is my place, this is my lot in life, right? That's small and like stuck, and she's all, you know, like this. It's like, break free from that, and, you know, move towards who you are supposed to be, who you feel you need to be, not what others or labels or any of that tell you that you are. Okay. All right, so that is Virgo. We're on to Libra. Libra, let's see what the message is for you. We are looking for freeing and liberating messages for you, Libra. Hi, horsey. Okay. Learning who you are is the best gift ever. So stop trying to find out and just be you. Now, some of you, if you were watching Virgo reading also because you're cuspy, there you go. I mean, it's the same stuff I just talked about in the Virgo reading. Okay, for sure. So, you know, stop trying to find out, you know, like, who am I? Who am I supposed to be? Who am I the, you know, it's like, just stop trying, you know, to figure that out, and just be who you are at this time. And ask yourself inwardly. Don't look for the answers out there. The answers aren't in the pick-a-cards. The answers aren't in the tests that you take, the personality quizzes or the astrology charts. You know, it's like the answer, I mean, you know, there's things we can glean from all that stuff, but it's like the answers of truly who you are you. All right, you have those answers. Okay, so let's see. We have, yeah, I like this one. All right, so I got this from this Enlightened Gardener book by Sydney Banks. And it was, the whole book was worth it just for this one quote, I thought, which is, it is not, I'm going to read it as you. Okay. I have it as me in here because that's the way he wrote it, but I'm going to put it in terms of you, so it makes more sense. Okay. It is not you in the world. It is you as part of this world. So in other words, you know, it's not like me in this world. You know, it's me as a part of this world. Okay. And you also have the number 7. All right. Which some of the keywords around this number 7 for you are philosophy, manifesting, introspection, spiritual development. Absolutely. With the number 7, eccentric, deep, secrets, natural healer, peace, loner, and nonconformist. So oftentimes sevens, like 7 vibes, are loners, nonconformists, a little, you know, eccentric, but they, you know, spiritual development is one of the things that are, you know, top on their list, things like that. So I would know, because like my life path number is not 7 or anything like that, but my birthday, I'm at 25. So it's like, which is a 7. So it carries that vibration. And I would say, yeah, most of these I agree with. All right. All right. So let's see. So that vibrational number may mean something to you already. It might be your life path number, or it might be, but again, remember, it's not those things that are going to tell us who we are. It's just like part of like tools that we can help us to enhance and understand ourselves, right? But the only thing that's going to really tell us who we are in a truest sense is by going within. Okay, know thyself. Not take a quiz and know thyself. That's not the phrase. The phrase is know thyself. All right. And all the wise masters tell us it's by going within. Okay, so let's see. What do we have for Libra? Libra, please. Libra. An optimistic and liberating message. Okay, Libras, let's get to it. All right. Oh, wow, you got some really nice cards, Libra. Okay, all right. All right. there's someone to stop thinking of in the sense of like a Knight of Wands and let the wheel turn, because things could really be different for you. So I feel like that's only for some of you out there. Oh, hold on, I got to cover this up. We do have the World card underneath the deck, which is all about new cycles. For some of you, there's like something about like desiring some sort of like young buck around or something like that with that young buck with that Knight of Wands or something. And it's like, I don't know, let go of something about letting go of that. All right. Will bring in a new cycle. Again, I don't think that's everyone's message at all. It's not the main message of this reading, but that came to me as I saw those cards underneath the deck. Okay. So for everybody's other, like the main message here, I feel like this is a really great message. Okay, you have the Lovers card, Justice, and Three of Cups here showing in your like kind of like recent past area, right? So Gemini and Libra energy showing up here for you. But aside from those qualities, we're looking at the meaning of these cards. And the Lover's card is oftentimes about making good high discernments and good metaphysical choices, right? And then you have Justice right after that, and then this like celebration kind of energy. So I feel like in the recent past, whether you're aware of it or not, and hopefully you are, or it doesn't matter. Like even if you're not, it's fine too. But I feel like angels or something like that are celebrating for some sort of good high discernment that you made in the recent past here. Like it's something that really helped to balance a karma, and it's like, yeah, helps you move away from, wow, and Judgment card, are you kidding me? Wow. Helps you move away from a situation into a new cycle here. So I feel like that's stuff going on behind the scenes in a way. You're more like kind of earthly energy of like what's going on, right? You have this Three of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, and the Ten of Cups. I feel like there's a lot of sincere giving, and again, I just get this sense of like celebration. So I feel like people right now, like they like who you are right now, Libra. I feel like that's what's on your side right now. Like they like who you are. And it's like, I feel like you are starting to like who you are. You're starting to see yourself, like I said, instead of seeing yourself as like, oh, well, it's just me against the world or me in this world that I don't belong here, right? It's like, it's no more of that. It's more of like, oh, no, well, actually, I'm just a part of this world. It's like we're all in this together. We're all parts of this world. It's not just like me, and there's the world. So I feel like because of that, like there's like these new doorways opening up, and things just seem to like go smoother for you. So I do feel like in the present energy, there's like an opportunity here to really give in a sincere way, to like getting on the same page with others, and really like like celebrating things from an emotional happiness place. All right. Some of you it could be like a major move. Some of you may be meeting someone, getting married, something like that in the near future. But there's like, there's a need to let go of something, like, and let it go. Like, I cannot stress that enough. So we're going to get a little bit more on that. Because you have this like Tower card, Five of Cups, kind of energy here of like something really, really needs to be let go so you can have that World card come in. So let's see. I would say it's probably seeing the world as a tower, seeing the world as like a problem, or sad or depressing or something like that. Oh, there's the train. Okay. All right, so what is this that like really needs to be let go of for Libra? For some of you, it's that first thing that I said. All right, like I don't know, something about being too attached to like having like validation from a good-looking person in your like a young stud or something like that. Like that will never validate anything, honestly, at all. All right, but there may be some sort of like I'm getting like a high school hang up on something like that. All right, that could be still in your, like maybe you didn't ever get the football player or something like that. So there's like some part of you that's like wanting the football player, wanting that validation or something. And I that's a really stupid example, but I'm just trying to give like a metaphor, something like that. Okay, but what else for other Libras here that I'm sensing? All right, what is it like that can like so they can free this and have this more optimistic, beautiful energy that's here. Okay, yeah. Also keeping people at bay. Yeah, and like not letting them in. Okay, for sure. Yeah, into that cycle. All right. And then you have the Ten of Pentacles. I feel like there could be a really major relationship for you. Now, for some of you, maybe that's work and career or something like that. Okay. Others of you, though, I feel like there's like a really stable partnership, it could lead to marriage, something like that, something that like would would be like your marriage, like it's gonna last. All right, like it's not gonna be a divorce in 2 years or something like that. So it's like, but there is this like letting go. It's the World card. I didn't marker these cards yet, so I have to hold my fingers over them, but it's the World card here. And I'd love to be holding it up with this group, but just remember it's the World card after this, okay? Because the World card, again, is about the end of a cycle and letting something go, so that the new cycle can come in. And what's the new cycle? The Ten of Pentacles is the next card that came out. Let me cover that up after the World card. All right. So what needs to be let go is this sort of like, keeping things at arm's length, feeling like you consistently and constantly have to like leave behind things or that you constantly do have to like stand up for yourself or something like that. Also too, start seeing what is in front of you. All right. Because it's like, I do feel like universe is trying to like put like love in front of you or put something that you love in front of you. But if we're two boots on the ground with our like physical eyes and not really opening to our spiritual eyes and things like that, then we're not going to notice when the spiritual offers us the golden cup. So there's something about like being too on guard, being too defensive, being too that didn't work out, or people always push me away, or something like that needs to end, and like really really needs to end, so that this like giving sincerely to situations, equal reciprocity in a intentional partnership can come through. That's what I am seeing here. So I feel like there's a ton of optimism that is available to you. Again, I feel like the angels or guides or whatever, they're cheering, yay! There's been this like karmic cycle that's like starting to end for you, and like something new starting to work out for you. But it needs to be embraced, and definitely let go of anything that like keeps you down or like emotional depression. I see a lot of water here, all right, because again, I'm saying this 5 of Cups, Tower, all that, and it's like looking on this like depressing stuff, the emotional stuff, like letting that water. In fact, it might be good to do some visualizations like that, where like you visually see like the water like purifying, instead of like close your eyes and maybe see like sort of like maybe kind of a mucky, stagnant, kind of water, but then like in your imagination, like start seeing it like filter and sparkle and then come to life, and then little fishies are swimming around in it, and then it's splashing around and making beautiful crystalline, what I'm saying. It's like do some visualization things like that, because I feel like the water energy for you is way too heavy right now. But also the fire too. It's like there's something about like really trying to push away those like heavy emotions. And yes, keep doing that. That's good. Be on guard with that stuff, but not to the point where you're not letting anything in. Also, just let the healthy things in. That's your new cycle. You're moving towards something that is very stable. So again, most of you, it's like a marriage or something like that. If it's not marriage, then it's just stability in general. All right. Could be a great career for you, or a windfall for some of you, something like that. Okay. All right, so that was Libra. We are on to Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio. Let's see what the message is for Scorpio, please. Scorpio, we are looking at what is the freeing, liberating, optimistic message for you. All right, for Scorpios, please. What is their most optimistic and freeing message, please? Okay, and that. Oh. I saw that, and I didn't see it when I chose it, but I saw it as soon as I set it down because the light shone through it. and I can see through it. And you guys got this card in another reading recently, I remember. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a moment. Yay, Scorpio. Okay, so oh, this is perfect. This is so Scorpionic at the bottom of the deck. I love this one. Okay, do not be afraid of your own mind. Start enjoying your mind. Utilize it for good. This is how to make friends with yourself. Like, don't be scared of that Scorpionic mind, right? I don't know. I remember, because I'm a Scorpio too. And like, I remember like, I don't know, I don't even think I was in my 20s. Maybe I was in my very early 20s or something. And I remember trying to explain to my said, partner at that time, like what it was like being a Scorpio. And that it's like this fine line, like a tightrope almost, of it's like where like one part of you knows, like if you just dip over here a little bit more, like it can be very extreme, and it's like walking that tightrope is important, because it's like it just, I remember I explained it much better, but I remember that, like I remember sitting on the porch, I remember talking to, and it's like I was trying to explain what it's like to be a Scorpio. It's like there's this extremism, and it's like such a fine line, that we have to keep ourselves, I mean, sometimes it's good to be extreme or, whatever, but, you get what I'm saying. If you're a Scorpio, you know what I'm saying. So anyway, don't be afraid of your own mind, all right? Start enjoying your mind. Utilize it for good. This is how to make friends with yourself. Take a snapshot of that one, Scorpio. All right. Okay, so let's see. So you got, wow, opportunity and triple luck. This is the card I was talking about. I could see through the light when I put it down, and I swear I couldn't see it like when I chose it, right? So it's like that card came out for you recently. I remember it came out in, I don't know if it was the last reading I did or the one before that, but I remember whatever last time I used these cards, this came out, triple luck. So there's some kind of opportunity. So there's your optimistic, freeing, and liberating message. Okay. All right. So let's see what we have for you, Scorpio. Okay. Scorpio. What is the message for Scorpio? We're looking for very liberating, freeing messages of optimism for Scorpios, please. There you are, Scorpio. Yeah, definitely. Freeing and liberating is what you need right now, for sure. So some of you feeling trapped, just trapped in situations or maybe relationships or, who knows what. Okay, let's see. What's going on for Scorpio, please? Okay. Tower. Whoa. Interesting. Okay. Oh, I gotta cover that card. Damn it. All right, there we go. Okay. All right. Very, very nice. Okay. Yeah, something to see from a different perspective. You may have opportunities around a Pisces or a Leo. All right. Or a Virgo. Okay. Let's see. This is interesting. It's a little similar to Libra's read, but different. Okay. You have the Eight of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, and the Three of Cups showing up here sort of in the past position. So I feel like you guys have put a lot of work and effort into like some sort of manifestation or something like that, like really you feel would fulfill wishes or desires in some way. I feel like I get a similar vibe in Libra's reading where it's sort of like angels celebrating, like, yay, Scorpio, you put the work into the right thing or, something like that. Okay. So if it's not like some cosmic message like that, I would just say that you guys in the recent past have been like working to obtain some sort of wish, desire. Maybe it's like, new friends, more social life, something like that. Right. Okay. In the current energy, this is an interesting energy. I have to cover the card because I forgot to use the deck where I've already done that. So hold on. Okay. You have the Tower card. I mean, talk about like heavy cards, so scorpionic. I mean, we just talked about that extreme and that walking that tightrope, right? This is absolutely a version of that because we have the Tower card. We have the Five of Pentacles, which is like, one of the most like negative cards in the deck, right? And then we have the World card, which is achievement, the end of a cycle, things like that. So, I mean, talk about like one extreme to the other, and so I do feel like you guys, you're definitely leaving behind a cycle of, I would say, I don't know, either like not belonging, all right, or not finding the right friends or the right social situations or the right fun and enjoyment in your life. Or it could also have something to do with money. The Five of Pentacles oftentimes has a lot to do with like, not having enough, feeling that lack, kind of energy, or engaging in lack mentality. It can be that as well. But it's like with the Tower card, it's like I do feel like something just sort of, boom, here it is. Here's the thing too, it's in the present energy. So this is not, this may have already just happened for you, or it's something that is very close to happening for you. It is the Tower card, which is unexpected. So I can't say, oh my God, it's happening, today. Or, well, I can't do that anyway. If I could. All right. But it's like, there's something here that it's going to like rock your world, basically, is what I'm seeing. Like literally, rock, right, your world. All right. And who better for a Scorpio to do that, right? Or to, participate in that. Awesome. Okay. So in the like kind of near future position, although I'm reading these cards in a different way, but let's keep it past, present, future for simplicity. But you have the Strength card, you have the Six of Swords, and you have the Hermit. So the Hermit is shining the light on that there is something absolutely that you are moving away from. All right, so whatever that Five of Pentacles represents for you, it could be a plethora of things, or it could just be one specific thing. Like I said, for some of you, it may be like feeling abandoned in situations, or like not meeting the right situations. Maybe you're trying to find a soulmate and they keep ghosting, whatever. Or again, maybe it's money, or maybe it's just not having the right social opportunities, whatever it may be for you. It's like you are definitely like leaving that behind. You are moving towards this wisdom that is carrying you to the next level in some way. That's what I see, especially with this like Strength card. It's like an opportunity to like demonstrate your inner strength. It's an opportunity to walk the talk, walk the walk. Scorpio is what I'm seeing here. Oh, and I keep using the word opportunity. That's interesting because you do have the opportunity card here, and you have triple luck. So I feel like with the Tower, something unexpected. I don't like. Sometimes I like clarifying the Tower if it's in a position in the tarot reading where it's like, uh-oh, so that I can, hopefully help give some good advice to avoid said Tower. But in your instance, it's like, there's nothing to clarify. Like, this is good. Whatever this Tower is, it's purposefully like taking like something, like you are leaving behind an energy in your life, Scorpio, that no longer serves you. All right. And you are moving into a different level. All right, that is going to be more suited for you. For some of you, it could literally be moving, okay, because you do have the Six of Swords, so that might be in your future as well. But there is an opportunity here, and I mean, it is surrounded with triple luck, and I swear I am almost 100% positive you guys got this card very recently in one of my readings. So there you go. Okay, so we are on to, let's see, that was Scorpio. We are on to Sagittarius. All right. Okay, Sagittarius, let's see what's going on for Sagittarius. Yeah, all right, just go with those. All right, do we want one more? Sagittarius? Okay. All right, the best way to predict the future is to create it. All right. So I had this in mind where, I get it. I'm a tarot reader or whatever, shoot myself in foot. But the thing is, it's like, I'm the first to say. I am the first to say. It's like, if we could just live our life by tarot readings, right? Then it's like we just have all the answers. That's all we'd need. Just throw out cards and we'd know exactly what to do. And it's like, no, the best way, you know, to predict your future or to find out what you need to like find out or be what you want to be is to create it. All right, for sure. Okay, so there you go. They do love you, but only in the way they know how is showing up here. So someone, you know, possibly on your mind, like they do love you, but only in the way that they know how. All right. So it might not be in the way that you need or that you feel comfortable with, but, you know, at least rest assured, you know, there is love there. Just might not be in the way that you would like. Okay. You have find an opportunity today at least 3 times to tell yourself, I can do it. So if you're watching this at night, then set this as a goal or set this as an intention for tomorrow. All right, to find at least 3 times during the day, evening, night, whatever, you know, to say, I can do it. So maybe there's something like where you're driving home from work and it's like, you know, you really know you need to go to the store, but you're like, oh God, I'm so tired. I just want to go home. It's like, wait, I can do it. I got energy. I can do it. You know, something like that would be an example, right? On an easy level. Might be harder things that you could think of too. Yeah, and this goes right in line with that card, all right? Because this one is never say, I'm only human. That is like an insult to the divine, all right? So it kind of goes in line with that other card that we just had of telling yourself you can do something because you do have like multitudes of energy all the time. You know, I remember someone used to say that, someone very dear to me used to say that all the time when I'd say, oh my God, I'm so tired. You know, and they would constantly remind me, no, you're not. You are full of energy. And they're absolutely right. We are full of energy. We have energy storehouses like you would not believe. All right. I mean, just think of it. Think of the times when in your life, you know, the very few, yeah, hopefully it wasn't a million times, but, you know, times where, you know, you were exhausted or something, but then something like where you had to do something, you know, maybe it was an emergency or maybe it was this or that. And you just like, you spring into action, right? Because we have storehouses of energy. So it's like, never say, oh, I'm only human, you know, oh, well, you know, I can only do so much. It's like, that's an insult to the divine. Okay. So let's see what we have for your tarot cards. Hold on. There we go. All right. So let's see. What do we have for Sagittarius? Sagittarius. What's going on? Sagittarius. We are looking for freeing and liberating messages of optimism for Sagittarius, please. Tower card. Yeah, I feel like something very liberating for you ahead. Something, yeah, with this like creating something new will lead you to something like good, like a favorable situation. Say, you know, start saying you can do it. I feel like this is getting, like, universe is like getting you into training, all right? Because it's like, it's going to be good for you to start learning how to say, I can do it. Because I feel like something is coming up for you where that will be necessary, like for you to like have that, like have a head start on that. So, interesting. Okay. Sagittarius, please. Oh, okay. There you are. Yeah, Sagittarius. I feel like you're going to be, like, some kind of choice is coming toward you, or some sort of choice that you will be making is going to put you in a very favorable light here. A lot of abundance, things like that. Okay. Okay, yeah, some sort of opportunity here for sure. Okay, yeah, turning the wheel in some favorable way, all right, is coming toward you here. Some kind of message, something like that. Okay, so let's see. Stay, all right. Recent past, you have 2 of Pentacles, the Sun card, and the 2 of Swords, all right, showing up here. So something that you weren't seeing. I feel like you've made you've been more optimistic than you're giving yourself credit for, is what I'm hearing for some reason or seeing here. All right. So it's like, I feel like you guys have made a choice to be more optimistic in some way, but you may not be like completely on board with it yet, or it might not be registering yet, like how important a decision that is. And that makes sense because optimism is a huge decision. It is a huge difference in our lives. Huge. And we can all agree with that. And yeah, but like really though, practicing that and understanding that is like, it really can make a huge difference in one's life. So I do think like give that more credit than you think. Like if you've like recently decided to add more optimism, obviously you clicked on a video about optimism, right? So it's like give yourself a hand for that, because that's like, it's a bigger deal than you think. And you may not see it like as being like a major proponent to change quite yet, but it's absolutely going. Again, I feel like there's something that will be coming in where this is all going to be very valuable for you. All right, to make choices of optimism, to make choices of telling yourself I can do something, to stop the well I'm only human kind of thing, and realize your profound ability in something, because there's an opportunity coming in for you. In your current energy, you have the Emperor, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords. So this sort of like tiptoeing around something, or I don't know. There may be something too, because I'm also noticing these cards, like looking at these cards. So like I'm seeing it like this. So I'll show you what that looks like. Like if it were you looking down on the table, right, is seeing these cards like this. So all these cards are looking at this. So it's like there may be something about, and then this seems separate, like separated from them all. So there may be something about like thinking like an opportunity can only come from like someone, or someone of like importance, like the Emperor, right? Or something like that, where I feel like that is not where there's something else like here. And I feel like that's, didn't you have Nine of Pentacles? Yeah, it's more about like your independence and separation from things is like kind of what like grows in a positive way. So in other words, it's like, and this is for if you're a feminine, not if you're if you're a masculine, there's a different message here. But if you're a feminine energy watching this, I feel like there's something about like, well, it's me against the man, right? But that man might be literal, like there might be like a boss, that like will never hire you in that position because you're a woman, whatever, I don't know, could be some things like that. And it feels like that is causing you like way, way, way more like struggle and difficulty and keeping things stuck. All right. Whereas there's an opportunity in just going your own, being your own, like that's what turns the wheel. Like there is something that you can do, I can do it, kind of thing. And it's like, but it's, as long as we feel like someone else holds the power, or like, well, if they have the power, maybe they'll share the power or something like that. It's like that stuff doesn't work that way, really. So it's like, I feel like there's something here about needing to look at things, like look at your power rather than looking at someone else's power. Like, okay, what can this person do for me? Or what can this happen, for me? Oh, well, maybe if I, marry someone very secure or something like that. Like, I'm not getting a gold digger vibe from this or anything like that, but I'm getting like this vibe that like somebody else has like more than you do, like, oh, well, like that your life would change if this, you married this emperor, right? Or something like that. Or your life would change if this, CEO, said, hey, here's an opportunity or something like that, where it's like, no, you're the opportunity. You're the one that can do these things. So there's something about needing to believe in oneself more and not be spending time, too much time in like trying to, because sometimes the Page of Swords is a little like covertly trying to, you know, do something or manipulate something to happen. And I feel like it's saying like, no, don't spend time in that. That's not what's going to work. All right. There's an opportunity here, but it's for you. All right. And it's like standing on your, you know, your self-assurance and your self-reliance. And that's what, you know, can turn the wheel into like good luck and a positive new cycle. Okay, so there's that message. The other message I see too, also too, I will say briefly, I did, let me backtrack a little bit. If you are a masculine energy, then it would be sort of like, I feel like there's something here about tiptoeing around an opportunity. So it's like kind of cheating yourself of an opportunity, feeling like you're the emperor, feeling like you have it all, but then do you really? You know, it might be like kind of tricking yourself into thinking you have it all and being very stoic in that and very protected with the armor that, you know, not trusting others, you know, things like that. And it's like, when, you know what, it's like you can do other things. You know, you don't have to wear that armor all the time. You don't have to take the throne all the time. It's like, you know, definitely experience new things. Don't feel like, well, you know, this is it. I would say too, there might even be an element of cheating around this reading, quite frankly, of especially with the Seven of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles. It's sort of like stepping outside of a marriage. All right, it can indicate something like that. And then there can be this excuse of, well, I'm only human. You know, I can't help it. I'm attracted. Some of you may be involved with somebody who's married, and that might be like something you're using as like, well, they can't, you know, I'm only human. I can't help who I love, or, you know, something like that. But again, there's this independence factor to this reading, all right, that's needing to happen, to separate oneself from things that are too rigid and too like set in their ways. And also there's an energy here of also not expecting opportunities or things like that to come from someone else. I mean, sure, that can happen, absolutely, and that's beautiful, but it's like ultimately like you are the opportunity. Start seeing yourself in that way. So that's what I have for you guys. And it's like, I'd say the optimistic thing is that, again, because remember, like, they do love you, but only in the way they know how. So like if there's like a time being put into like a third party-ish kind of thing, I don't know. Don't let them off the hook with the excuse like, well, they're only human, or, well, I'm only human, or something like that. And it's like, find an opportunity at least 3 times a day. That's your optimistic and freeing and liberating message, is to, you know, say, I can do it. All right, I can do this. And there is, again, something about self-reliance and not relying on someone else or some other situations to change your circumstance, but to like know that you have every capability of doing that. There's something creative for you, I feel, that needs to like be expressed for you, and that's going to like turn the wheel for you, like a lot of success for you. Okay, so that is Sagittarius. We are on to Capricorn. Okay, we are on to Capricorn. We are. All right, let's see. What is the message for Capricorn? Well, that one wants to come out. Okay. Capricorns, please. We are looking for what is a freeing and liberating, optimistic message for you, Capricorn. Okay. Oh, got a couple of them there. Okay, so we have a Paramahansa Yogananda quote at the bottom of the deck, and it says, "In the power of self-control lies the seed of eternal freedom." In the power of self-control lies the seed of eternal freedom. And then I have over here, choose to be calm, right? And be is underlined. Like we can choose to agree with something, but choosing to be something is different, right? And then I have choose to be loving on the other side written here. All right, so choose to be calm, choose to be loving. All right. Okay, so let's see what cards you did draw, though. All right, we've got emotional release, healing, forgiving, care of self. All right, there we go. So releasing something emotionally burdening for you. Radical acceptance is not giving up weakly, like in a weak way. All right. Like in other words, like understanding where you are. So what I meant by this card is because I had an experience with it. That's why. So it's like sometimes, we feel like we should be somewhere else, like a little bit, further along, maybe in a relationship or, in our work or just in life in general or something like that. And it's like when we radically accept, like, well, okay, but I'm not, I'm not that. I'm not further along. I am exactly where I am. That's like the radical acceptance I'm talking about, but not in a weak way where it's like, oh, well, this is where I am. That it's good to accept radically where we are, because now we can really say, yeah, no, that's not where I want to be, right? And then we can work on like the strength of improving to where we do want to be and creating our futures. So there may be some emotional release that needs to be tied in here with like some radical acceptance of a situation. Maybe it's a relationship that's not working out. Maybe it's the lack of being able to find a relationship, that works out or something along those lines. Then once we can radically accept something like that, then it's like, then we can say, yeah, no, I don't want that. That's not where I want to be, right? Sort of thing. We also have experiment. Oh, you're going to like this one, Capricorn. Don't have to ask a Capricorn twice. Okay, experiment. Okay, but this, I'm teasing, but it says abstract thinking, meditate, and research outside usual searches. Okay, that's what I've written here. So, in other words, I mean, as a Scorpio myself, I'm pro at this one, at researching like outside usual sources. Like most people, like if they want to look something up, like something esoteric or something, they'll just type in blah blah blah. Like Lionsgate is a perfect Lionsgate. What's that? And you're gonna get all the fluff and the stuff, right? But it's like abstract thinking. Right. So where does this phrase even come from? Let's go back a little. Maybe you want to research Lionsgate Hermeticism or, something like that. Something that's going to give you more of like an esoteric vibe of like origin and things like that. Like abstract thinking. Think outside the box. Don't just settle for the first thing that comes up on Google, basically, is what I had in mind with this card. Also, meditate. And it's not even about like researching things on Google, this card. I'm just saying it's like experiment with like different ways of abstract thinking. Think differently, right? All right. So I feel like you guys have a lot of like genius within you, but it needs to be like abstracted by your abstract thinking and like meditating and things like that. Okay, so let's see. What do we have for Capricorn? As far as what is their liberating, well, those are pretty much like your liberating messages. So let's work on the optimism part of things. What is the freeing and more optimistic message for Capricorn? Capricorn, please. Activity, action, fire, fire, fire. Walk with me. All right, what do we got? I guess that was a mashup between David Lynch and and Beavis and Butthead. Fire. Walk with me. Okay, what do we got going on for Capricorn? Oh, wow. Yeah. All right. Definitely need to do some radical acceptance and experimenting here. I see a lot of like not happy. All right, with things. Okay, for sure. Whew, all right. So definitely emotional release here. All right. There may be something where it's like you may have thought in the recent past that something was like your end all be all with something. All right. Maybe it was a love relationship. Maybe it was a particular job or career or something like that. But there was like disappointment possibly like around like the community of it all, or like there wasn't anything to celebrate, or something like that happened with a situation. So I feel like then in this current energy, it's sort of like, well, okay, on to the next. What am I going to do now? Kind of thing. And it's sort of lots of songs coming through on this one. I just got like Queens of the Stone Age. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know. Anyway, this sort of like trudging along and not knowing where you're going. These cards are definitely like not knowing like where to go, what to do, that sort of thing. They can be very elusive energy and illusory energy. All right, both elusive and illusory. And the Ten of Wands is very much a card of trudging on one foot in front of the other without really having a goal. Because if this person had a goal, first they wouldn't be hunched over like this, where they're just looking down at the ground and putting one foot in front of the other. They would instead stand up straight, drop like the majority of all those heavy wands that are blocking their view and weighing them down, and just pick up the one that's like the most important, which is that fire energy, that motivation, that passion. And then their burden is way lighter, and they can actually see where they're going. There's a wall of stuff in front of them that just like pushes them down, right? So it's definitely about like needing to define a goal more, and not an illusory one or an elusive one, but like a radical acceptance one. Okay, so it's not saying, oh, don't go after your big dreams or anything like that. It's just like being a little bit more tangible with where you are, and it's like having a really sincere goal to move toward. The thing is, there's something here that's like, I don't know, and it probably stems from childhood with the Six of Cups. Okay, it could even have something to do with a brother or a sister or a friend, or the loss of someone, very close, or something along those lines that is, again, with the head hung low, this like kind of like really heavy energy that is possibly, again, like keeping one from like moving forward. And there's this sense here of being sincere and being a giving person, but possibly giving to the wrong circumstances. All right. So maybe you're trying to fix someone, or maybe you're trying to, possibly like garner someone's attention, or, something like that. But it's about like using this sincere energy and giving it like to the wrong situation. An oracle card is coming into my mind right now of a perfect example of what I see in this reading. And the oracle card is, it's a woman's hand, and she's got this water, this beautiful pure water that is flowing from her hand, but it's watering a desert. Like there's nothing growing. So it's like the metaphor being, don't give your emotions, your pure, beautiful water emotions, right, into something that's barren land. It's not growing. It's not, there's no sprout even, there's like nothing in the picture except desert, right? So that can be relationships. Sometimes, we're pouring our beautiful energy into relationships that just aren't growing. They're not going where we would like them to go, or they're not producing, or, wielding a crop. So why would we water, right, like a desert soil? Like if we're trying to grow something, we're trying to have something abundant happen, whether it be a relationship or work, or, what different situations in our life, would we, sit there and like water like a dead plant or a dead garden, or, what I'm saying? It's like, so there's something here about where you put your sincere energy into, and not giving it to situations. Some of you you might have like strong Libra or Cancers or something like that in your chart, where you just give, and possibly want to like help or fix people or something like that. And it's like, first of all, we can't. All right. I mean, most of us know that on some level. It's like, we can't fix people. We can't fix their problems. We can't fix people. We can't, we can, offer assistance in certain ways or something like that. But I'm saying, we can't fix like what's fundamentally going on with someone. The only ones that, only ourselves. We can only fix like our own situations. So there may, and I'm not saying, oh gosh, stop helping people, or, just cut off people or anything like that. But it's like where we do put our energy. All right. So like making sure we are giving our pure, beautiful energy to the right situations, I feel is yours. I got to say, there's not much optimistic here. So we're going to have to dig a little bit more, because there's a lot of, and the reason is because, again, I feel like there needs to be this emotional release and this radical acceptance. And again, radical acceptance, when I say that, I want to stress this, Capricorn, because Capricorns have a they have a strong tendency to beat themselves up and be hard on themselves. So I really want to stress this again, that when I say radical acceptance, that doesn't mean like, oh, well, this is the way it is, this is the way I am, or this is the way, this is what always happens to me. That's not radical acceptance. What I mean, once again, by that is just looking, at your circumstances, the ones that you aren't thrilled with, right? And like, yeah, all right. And then kind of abstractly thinking and understanding like how we got into these places that we're not thrilled with or that not happy with. Chances are it's some decisions that we've made. We love to say it's because of someone else, or because of this, or because my parents didn't raise me right, or because I had this problem when I was a child, or this person burned me and broke my heart and left me. And, we'd love to, throw all this. But the thing is, it's like we made those choices to, well, not the parent thing, but, like with relationships and jobs or directions in our life. We made those choices, and that's what to radically accept, but radically eradicate too, and it's like so that we can move on and like let go of that emotionally and stop pouring water into something that's not growing, because your emotions are going into like this sort of like, from what and it's not everyone's reading, but from what I'm seeing, like this sort of like more depressive situation, or something that was just very heavy and dark for you at some point, or again something to do with a friend or a sibling, or something like that. And it's like, then there's add on top of that, there's this like no direction, not knowing which way to go, and just sort of putting one foot in front of the other, and none of that is really like working at all. All right, like that's what I'm seeing. So it's like, that's why this experiment card is here. It's like, so obviously like this isn't working. So why not experiment? Why not experiment with radical acceptance? Why not experiment with some abstract thinking and meditation? All right, meditation is such a soothing, calming, guiding presence in our life if we allow it to be, and we stay somewhat diligent with it. 15 minutes a day, if we can just do 15 minutes a day out of, that 24 hours, of a day, if we can do 15 minutes of it, it will greatly improve your everything, basically, your health, your mental health, your spiritual health, all those things. So there's that. All right, so let's see. So what optimism then? What optimistic message can I? Because it's like, it almost feels like I can't give you an optimistic message when it's like there's this like refusal of believing there's an optimistic message for you. All right, so again, I don't think it's everybody's reading. All right, and honestly, it's got a very strong masculine vibe to it. So it's like, it may not be everyone's reading. You might want to check like your Venus or rising or moon. So it's like difficult to give an optimistic reading if it's not going to be accepted. All right, so it's like, start accepting optimism. Why not? This isn't working. So why not just go the other way around? Go completely radically the other way, right? If you have your head hung low like this, like all the time, or there's something like that's just so hard for you to let go of and all those things, well then why not experiment, right, with doing the complete opposite? Just like every time your thoughts want to naturally, because obviously this has been going on for a long time, so your mind is going to naturally drift to these things, then just like be like, what? No. And go the opposite direction, and have something in mind, like to turn your mind away from, So like, I don't know, every time you think like of a sad thing or a negative thing or like, oh, well, you know, or get down and your shoulders drop and, you know, that kind of thing, then immediately catch yourself and then replace that with some kind of image, something that like does like make sense to you, that is powerful or cheerful or goal oriented or something like that, right? Like I've told people before, I used to use like Xena, Princess Warrior, right? It's like when things were, when I'd find myself and catch myself in these like blah, you know, energies or something, then I'd switch gears and I'd see like, and I never even really watched the show. I just like that image of like some kick-ass chick, right? With like a stick or something like that. And sort of, you know, kind of, or like a shield, big shield. But she's open, you know, not because she's like scared and, you know, but because she's like powerful, you know, and like a warrior, like on top of a mountain, you know, that kind of thing. All right. So what optimistic message can I give Capricorn? Okay, Nine of Pentacles, Two of Wands, Justice. Okay, yeah, I mean, Justice is like a karma card, a balance card, things like that. It's like needing to make the choice, you know, towards what you do want to go toward. So like if you are a masculine, because I'm almost getting masculine energy from this, it's like then make the choice to go toward like a single independent woman, a single one, right? One that's available, one that is self-reliant. That works well with you, Capricorns. You know, it's like self-reliance is like a good theme in your life. There's something here that will balance things out. All right. So there's something about making the choices to go toward something. Now, if you are a feminine watching this and all this resonated and all that still, again, then it's probably more like your masculine side of things that is in that energy, right? So it's like embrace more of like bringing that masculine energy into balance with more feminine energy of self-reliance, self-esteem. Bring out your talents, your natural talents, things like that. Make the choices to move towards things that will ground you. And look at the head held up high here, right? It's not hung low and it's shrinking or anything like that. She stands very self-assured here. All right. So that's what I see there. So there could absolutely be an end to a karmic cycle in making the choice to move towards self-reliance. Okay. Okay. Aquarius, please. We are looking for liberating and freeing optimistic messages for Aquarius, please. Aquarius. Okay. And that one. Okay. This much is true. Okay, what do we got? All right. Choose one person, good or bad, and deeply pray for their harmony to be restored. See it, feel it, know it. This is true. All right, so that's an experiment that's at the bottom of the deck to choose one person, you know, that you may know or not really know or whatever, you know, good or bad. Like I've experimented with this like stuff for like, I don't know, certain presidents, things like that. And, you know, not naming names or anything. And it's like, and deeply praying for harmony to be restored. All right. See it, feel it, know it, that this is true. Because the thing is, when we do this for others, we are also doing it for ourselves. So, but it's a great exercise to be able to do this for others, good or bad. And that's in quotations. Okay. All right. So there's that. Okay. So let's see. What else did we get? Bridge. Something or someone will be brought together. All right. Beautiful. All right. So like a bridge. And then we have re-examine all that you've been told. Dismiss what insults your soul. This is from Walt Whitman. Okay. Beautiful. I think Walt Whitman, I think he might have been an Aquarius. I might be wrong on that. I'm not sure, but I think he may have been. I mean, it sounds like kind of an Aquarian quote, doesn't it? Re-examine all that you've been told and dismiss what insults your soul. Okay. All right. So let's see what's going on for Aquarius as far as like something liberating, freeing, an optimistic message for the Aquarians out there watching this. All right, Aquarius. No, yeah, don't cross-watch Aquarius readings, or this is not a love reading in that way. Okay, for your Aquarius male. All right, let's just look at look at Aquarius here. Let's get a message for our beautiful Aquarians. Okay, for the Aquarius that are watching. All right, what do we got here? Yeah, okay. I'm hold on. We gotta clear the energy because somebody wants to cross watch some love thing and try to get. All right, so hold on. Let's give it a minute here. Let me pull another deck. All right, let's try this again. Okay, Aquarius, please. Let's get you a freeing and liberating message of optimism. All right, optimism for Aquarius. All right. There you are, Aquarius. Maybe talking with a Gemini. Okay. Yeah, something's moving forward here. Wow. Yeah, definitely. All right. So good stuff showing up here. All right. Choices, decisions, possibly romance, maybe a relationship, or something about like building something with the 10 of Pentacles, something that you love. All right, going on, something like that. Oh, wow. Yeah, 6 of Pentacles, the Sun, also. All right, showing up. Those would be like the next cards after, like, where are you going? This is an Aquarius card too. All right, so you're headed towards this energy. Okay, so very optimistic. Your reading is like super optimistic. Okay. So, and I'm really glad I was able to clear that other energy because this is definitely your reading, Aquarius. Okay, so let's see. You have the 3 of Cups, the Hierophant, and the Knight of Wands. Okay, I feel like you have options here. Like you have options with a situation is what I'm seeing, and it's like it all looks good. I would say it like right now, like discernment plays a huge role in like how you move forward. So like anything that's like not working, like, I don't know, there's a player or, you know, in your life, or, you know, they're married and it's not going anywhere, you know, things like that, like, you know, let that stuff go. Make a high discerning choice here to like welcome new experience into your life, because I feel like you'll have a lot of success with new experience in your life. Okay. So anything that's like not really stable when it comes to relationships, like you can tell this person's like not, you know, like I said, they're already married, or they talk about marriage, but like they're not marriage material. Maybe you want to settle down, they don't, you know, whatever. Or maybe, you know, it's the other way around. You want to just have fun, they want to get married. You know what I'm saying? It's like whatever it is, it's like there's something here like that doesn't, you know, feel like it's where you want to be. Now, it might just be you have a person like that in your energy. Well, then maybe have a not an ultimatum talk or anything like that, but tell them how you feel instead of tiptoeing around these things. It's like express yourself with you know, good enriching words of like what, you know, what it is that you like. Okay, you know what, I want to move forward. I do want more with this relationship, if that's feels comfortable for you, right? And if it even is a romantic relationship, it might be a choice about something else in your life, maybe about where you want to live, where you want to move, what, you know, what leadership position you want to go for in work or career, you know, something like that. But again, like re-examine all that you've been told. All right. So about everything, I really feel like that message is huge, and dismiss what insults your soul. Not what insults your ego, your personality, your this or that. It's like what insults your soul. Re-examine all that you've been told. All right, and it's like, because there's something being tiptoed around here where it's like, I feel like the universe is saying, wow, you know, Aquarius, it's time to make this like truly high energetic, discerning choice and move towards that. It's like there's an opportunity here to, I don't know, like bring happiness or optimism or love, again, work, career, relationship, or just, you know, something very long lasting in general. There's like this opportunity to do that is showing itself. And it's like that which you give will be given, right? That's probably why we had that message at the beginning. Wow. Yeah. You have, oh yes, this is going to be good underneath that. But that's probably why we had this message about experimenting with, you know, choosing someone to you know, deeply pray for and all that, because, you know, like I said, like if we can do that for others, then it's really doing that for ourselves. So there's something here to be very clear upon, like movement toward, that is going to absolutely be in a very good benefit for everyone involved, from what I can see. So for some of you, it may have something to do with like travel. All right, Eight of Wands, Six of Swords. All right, moving, possibly too. Usually though, these cards are more like about travel than actually like moving. Okay. It could be talking with someone at a significant distance. Also, like talking with somebody different, maybe a Gemini, someone who is at a distance. It's like it's something falling into play, like some sort of like plan or something like that, that seems to be given very directly, either from you or from a Gemini or someone like an air sign feminine, that is like gives a lot of clarity and moves forward in some way. So I think this is really, really good. Some of you too, I feel like there's something here also about spirituality within a religious sense that's not religious, if that makes sense. I don't know what that message is. And I don't even know what I just said. So there you go. That's a message for somebody, and I don't even know what it was. So maybe something about a bridge, that because I got that message when I was looking at like this bridge. All right. So you might find ways of like bridging something. Moving forward though in communication, and is what I see for you. So I see a lot of happy, good, stable changes for you moving forward, but it does have a lot to do with making high discerning choices about things. Okay. All right. So that is Aquarius. We are on to Pisces. Okay, Pisces. Let's see what the message is for you, Pisces. So we are looking for freeing and liberating, optimistic messages for you, Pisces. Pisces, please. All right. Okay. So you have the number 9 at the bottom of the deck, universal love. Some of the keywords for this, we have perfection, eccentric, problem solving, philanthropy, soul purpose, service to humanity, spiritual, creative, sensitive, and also learn to say no. Those of you who are life path 9s or have 9 as a strong vibration in your energy. If you don't have those numbers, you know, as part of your like numerology in life or anything like that, then it's just saying like to carry this vibration of 9 at this time. All right. More universal, like humanitarian type energy. Okay. All right. So let's see. What do we have? We've got intoxicating laughter. All right. And communicate, but only when our words can enrich, prosper, and heal. Someone else had this at the bottom of the deck. I can't remember what sign it was, but there we go. This was inspired from Florence Scovel Shinn. Okay. So intoxicating laughter, and then communicate, but only if, you know, the words that want to come out can enrich, prosper, and heal. Okay, so let's see what's going on. So someone may be communicating with you. You may be communicating with someone. Maybe they have like just an intoxicating laugh, or you just have such a fun time. It feels intoxicating, you know, drunk with laughter, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's see. What do we have for Pisces? Pisces, please. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So yeah, maybe a new karmic cycle is about to begin for you in a positive way, Pisces. All right. What is the message for Pisces, please? Yeah, new energy. Sagittarius energy showing up. Or possibly soulmate energy. Some like heavy chemistry. Okay. Yeah, I see messages in your future or currently. Okay. Interesting. All right. Yeah, there's that Ace of Wands again. All right. So let's see. I get an interesting, I don't know. I'm not sure if this is romantic. It's like I can't tell either way. Like I'm not getting a hit on that, like either way. Like if this is romantic or if it's just like some sort of, like I'm getting two people communicating, and someone's like way funnier than like you think, or something like that. Like I don't know. Okay, because you have three. You have a Queen of Cups, a Queen of Swords, and a King of Wands here. All right, recent past, what's going on? You got the Ace of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Queen of Cups. I feel like that's your energy, Pisces, basically like trying to like kind of create your own future, really. It's like looking into like your own self as like your own oracle of like prediction in a way, and knowing that like you ultimately are the one to create your future. So I do feel like you are getting clear ideas on that, and clearing through a lot of emotions at this time, and ready and willing to turn the wheel in a positive and optimistic direction. Okay, I feel like there's someone here that either that, or like there's something like maybe you need to show a different side of yourself or something. It's like, I don't know, it could be someone that you're talking with now with the Eight of Wands, and it is showing up in the current energy. And again, I don't know if it's romantic, if it's this, or if it's that, lots of different scenarios could be, maybe it's a boss, maybe it's a, who knows, whatever this situation is. But it does kind of feel like to also like look at the other side of the coin of things. Like sometimes things are just like funny, or about like laughing at things, and that kind of deal. Because the Queen of Swords sometimes can be like very serious, like do this is what needs to be done, and get those done by noon. It can be like a bossy type of thing or something like that, instead of like possibly showing a different side of oneself. So like if you are in a leadership position, maybe at work or career, or if you are like dating, or maybe you've met someone, something like that, to definitely show that lighter side. Like I don't typically see Pisces as bossy like whatsoever. Like that does not seem like a Pisces trait to me. So, but keep in mind, this is for different positions. So somebody maybe, maybe has like strong something in their chart, or, something like that. So it's like, but it kind of feels like that you're not that, but you possibly may come across as that. So it's like, be sure and show, that side of yourself that can laugh at things and not take things so seriously and stuff like that. I do feel like you have, if you don't yet, like you have someone coming towards you, all right? Because you have this like King of Wands, the Fool card, and the Seven of Cups. I feel like they don't know what to do with you. It's like there's I'm not sure if it's romantic, because I'm not getting 100% hit on that, right, from source. It's like those types of messages aren't coming through, and it's very vague on like what this is. So that's probably for a reason. But it's like this energy of someone, all right, coming toward you with like definitely a lot of experience and like gusto is what I'm seeing in a good way. But it's like they kind of don't know what to make of you is what I'm getting. So there's something here about just communicating all sides of yourself, because you do have that like enrich, prosper, and heal. Like if you're going to communicate, all right, make sure your words are falling in line with that energy. Okay. Also, too, don't be afraid to sort of like laugh at oneself, or now we don't want to like like not self-deprecating humor so much, because it's never a good idea to point out too many flaws about yourself. All right, because once you do, then people see those. Something I learned finally, because I used to definitely fall in that category. And then I remember reading about that and thinking it over and mulling it about and stuff like that, and thinking, yeah, you know what, that is detrimental. It's not a good idea. So I don't know. There's something here about like just like lightening up with something. You do have this like universal love here. Yeah, always lift up others. All right. Complaining or fear brings others down. All right. So that's why it says like to make sure we are communicating with words that enrich, prosper, and heal. All right, not things that are going to bring other people down. All right, for sure. Okay, the first step toward forward movement starts with a stillness inside. So it seems kind of contradictory, doesn't it? But it's not. All right. So it's like anything that you want to move forward to, it starts with that stillness inside. Okay. Stop pretending that you are not amazing. Stop pretending that you are not amazing. If not now, when? Okay. Oh my God. And there's the number 6. I didn't even realize I made 2 of these cards. And I mean, for all of this whole stack of cards, and for those to be right on top of each other, and then look, you have the number 6. And we had 9. So the 6 and 9, the balance, the harmony, all that stuff. Look, if not now, when? So I didn't even know I made 2, doubles of these. So there you go. I mean, very, very clear. Stop pretending that you are not amazing. Okay. Universal love, the 9. There's something here about like an energy coming toward you that is very vague. All right. So I don't know if it's love. I don't know if it's, a brother, a sister, a cousin, whatever, a job offer. Yeah. I don't know. There's just an energy that's coming toward you that does like carry with it a lot of adventure, experience, and something like very motivating. But again, I do feel like they kind of just don't know what to do with you. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So that's why to communicate clearly. It's very optimistic. Actually, it's like it looks very optimistic. And I feel like those cards were definitely a synchronicity. Okay, so there may be something too that you want to move toward. You want to communicate to someone that you want to say, hey, maybe we should hang out, or maybe we should do this thing together, or, something like that. Yeah, if not now, when, right? It could be something like that too. Because it's like I do feel like they have the like ability and the motivation or something like that to bring like a different type of element that is needed, all right, to this like sort of common sense grounded kind of energy here. So that's what I am seeing. Okay, all right, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed your readings.